this country of convenience. They will allow this country to do anything against the Constitution, and then they opt for convenience. Well, we do have, and I really, really, really am afraid for Ron Paul, because he's the only one talking about the Constitution and the best parts of it, by the way. And if the miracle happens and the American people wake up and they nominate him, they're going to get rid of him just like they did the Kennedys and everyone else that allegedly a single assassin takes care of, going all the way back to Abraham Lincoln.
Russell, let me ask you a question from your historical research and just your gut sense for things that's proven accurate. You're somebody that stood up to tyranny. You've actually done more than just occupy a square. You physically occupied your own land and faced the federal attacks. Knowing this system, what's going to happen when a culture that sold their soul for convenience, for bread and circus football, who thinks it can't happen here, what's going to happen when the bottom completely drops out and the big banksters are offshore laughing about it? What is going to happen to the average person who is very soft and who doesn't have a culture? They have this plastic corporate culture that blows with the wind. I mean, if we had 7 million people, major university studies have shown, that starved to death or died from complications from malnourishment in the 10 years of the Great Depression, and 90% of people then were self-sufficient, only 10% were totally urban and unself-sufficient. Now we have the flip. 90% are urban and unself-sufficient. Of the 10% that are in the country, only 5% are self-sufficient. I mean, this sounds like a beyond Road Warrior scenario if things really do collapse like it looks like they are, and we see government and corporations racing around, digging in, and preparing for war with the people. What are they planning?
It's estimated that the big cities of America have about 3 to 4 days of food for the populace. 3 to 4 days. Now, with America approaching chaos, absolute chaos, and it can't feed itself because it can't afford the imports any longer. It can't afford to buy anything. What is going to be done is this is the most well-armed country in the world. Those guns are going to be used on each other and against law enforcement. It's going to be, that's what chaos is. Exactly. It's going to be a country that's in rebellion, and they don't even know why they're in rebellion. That's the sad part of what's coming, as I see it. It's rebellion because they've lost their convenience. Is it rebellion because they've lost their self-sufficiency? It's all of the above. But without a value system, it's going to be chaos.
Wow, very well said. In fact, you've really crystallized it for myself. People are just going to attack in all directions while the engineers of this sit offshore and kind of let us burn each other out. That's what they've done in Latin America. I've read the IMF World Bank documents where they say, we'll let them riot for a year. They'll beg for us to come in with the military later. So how do we use the chickens coming home to actually wake people up to go after the real threat, these corporate kleptocrats, instead of all of us just killing each other? I mean, how do we do that, Russell?
I've watched America go from where young people, like when I was in grade school, wanting to grow up to be a policeman, to where now every citizen is deathly afraid of the police. The police themselves have transformed and into this agent of destruction, and they enjoy the persecution of individuals, like you see what happened in Syria. It's happening here. So I do believe, just like in Syria, this is what we're going to see in America, except America's well armed.
Yes. I mean, we saw millions of guns sold in the month of December. I mean, if even just a few percentage points of the 180 million people now that own guns use them, I mean, it's going to be watching us eat each other alive, basically.
I'm really afraid for America. I'm not afraid for myself. You know, these concentration camps they call Indian reservations. By the way, that's another show, because this is legally Indian reservation, federally recognized Indian reservations in America are still on the books as prisoner of war camps. And that technically, on the books of America, we're still in a state of war with the United States government. And how that came about was a lawyer friend at Guantanamo defending or trying to defend one of those so-called terrorists. It might be a terrorist, I don't know. But the point being, in his research found out that Guantanamo was taken from Indian policy. So I and my friend, my younger brother, he's a lawyer, we went and researched even further into Pentagon files, etc., and found out that technically we're prisoner of war camps on these Indian reservations. That explains why we do not have constitutional rights. So what is going to happen is all these areas, and you know they got the FEMA camps and everything else, they're prepared to get the survivors off to the prisoner of war camp. And then the docile few that are left will get in line for their jobs in a society that no longer is built on convenience.
Well, you said it, and that is the system. As much as I don't want to believe that, the system, the controllers are building their entire architecture, their entire stance is built around a total collapse, and they're the ones pulling the trigger to do it while telling the poor sheep that they're there wanting to keep them safe and take care of them. It is monstrous what they're attempting to do. I want to shift gears now into your health. I mean, I've been watching the videos that you've been doing, your updates. We've been posting them on my YouTube channel and at Infowars.com. And I'm excited to see you getting better and better and better and better. And I mean, I saw an update you did a few weeks ago, and you look even better and sound better than then. Russell, I mean, are you 100% cured? And how did you do it when they told you, basically you didn't have any hope at the regular doctors?
Well, my wife had a tremendous amount to do with it. She's the miracle worker. She saved my life. But we used alternative medicines that are only available in 3 states. Alternative cancer treatments are illegal in 47 of the 50 states. The only 3, of course, as you know, is Nevada, Utah, and Arizona. Well, we found alternative methods that naturopathic doctors who study the insides of the human body for the same length of time as MDs, medical doctors. So these naturopathic doctors we consulted. We also went to an oncologist who does tomotherapy. He's the only one in the United States does tomotherapy on a regular basis, full time. When that is the lifesaver, by the way, because it's a laser-like machine that only kills cancer cells, not good cells. See, radiation, when they throw it on you, it kills good cells, more good cells than cancer cells. So we went with him for laser treatment, and we went and then, of course, to my own people, both in Mexico, Canada, and on different reservations in America, and we got Indian medicine. Now, my oncologist and the naturopathic have asked just exactly what it was. Well, my wife is going to write a book on our 6-month journey defeating cancer, because as you know, I completely defeated it, including lung cancer. I had 2 separate cancers, the esophageal cancer of the tongue and throat and the lymph nodes and the neck, and then I have a separate cancer in the lungs.
Wow.
We got through it. But the worst thing is what we found out, that this country, it's a mass conspiracy to make American people sick and dying.
Well, as you said, I mean, with the American Indians, with the sterilization, the bad meat, the blankets, with the smallpox, with the British officers' manuals. I mean, this is all on record. It's been duplicated everywhere, all over the world, and expanding on that. I mean, for those that don't know, who just are watching for the first time or may have heard in the newspapers all over the country that you had cancer, it was big news. Now that you've beaten it, it's not big news, and it should be, because of the conspiracy, that, you know, the money they make off killing you. You had gotten where you couldn't even talk. I mean, tell people how bad it was. I mean, you lost all that weight in a matter of weeks. I mean, it was amazing. Tell that story briefly.
Well, I lost a pound a day for 65 days. That was the average. I lost 65 pounds in less than 2 months. And what happened is that I just couldn't eat. And I didn't want to eat, no matter what was happening. Of course, after I was diagnosed, all energy left me. And so we went to the naturopathic doctors. We started getting intravenous blood work done, which they extract you, about a third of a quart of blood from you. They clean it of toxins and heavy metals, and then they inject oxygen, mistletoe, and vitamin C, which all kill cancer cells. And they used other supplements that I took. But the biggest help in all of the doctors, naturopathic and oncologists, they want to know what kind of Indian medicine. They're the only ones. The whole world hasn't come to our door. It's amazing how this whole thing has been kept silent. But man, have we found out the vast conspiracy in every aspect of American industry, you know, the pharmaceutical, the military, the medical, the government. It's to disease us up and then sell us the drugs. The drugs are what make you weak and keep the recurrence of cancer coming back. All those. And I took them for a while: sugar diabetes pills, rheumatoid arthritis pills, hypertension pills. Those are made of chemicals that the human body cannot process adequately or even definitively.
Oh, yeah, the additives in the food that they allow them to put in are, I mean, look at diabetes, cancer. The United States leads the world, and I've seen studies where people 50 years ago ate all the fat, the unhealthy food, and weren't fat. It's all the additives that are making people swollen with water because of the toxins, and they know exactly what they're doing. I mean, I personally finally, watching you with, cancer and others, I finally went ahead and started getting off totally, the processed stuff, taking real vitamins and minerals. I've lost 37 pounds. I mean, by eating nothing processed. I mean, it's almost instant. And it really is true that the system, McDonald's and others, in the foaming agents in their McNuggets, and I wasn't eating that, they're allowed to put silicone in it, Russell. I mean, well, it's incredible.
It's only 40% of a hamburger is meat. The rest is hooves, it's cow manure, it's sores from the hides and the muscles. It's oh my God, it's gristle. What they put into hamburger should be illegal.